Edit that.
This will be good for the front end of the
Listen,
video.
we're gonna start the video with that.
Sorry,
You're good.
I figured.
You do like you about to go to the club or something.
Man,
That one boy clean. He smell good. You smell him?
Well, here's the thing though. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let's start the video off of this real quick.
What about him?
Jacob turns the fishing off,
Hey,
and he's straight fresh mode, son.
Rico Suave.
He had to get off that fish meal. He had to get all that daggone junk off of him.
My boy didn't take a shower.
Nice. It's Super Bowl weekend, baby.
Yeah,
Facts, facts. Hey, you smell good too, bro. No homo, no deal.
Yeah, no, that's my name every day. It's
That
good.
and all that fragrance came from Italy.
Did.
Ooh, that one did?
My wife got me the same fragrance.
Yeah,
but
he
I
bought
lost
$500.
it. I lost it.
How much he cost?
Nah, he ain't bad.
All right.
Excuse me.
Hey, y'all know, hey, Ray
Bless
Debate,
me.
you know, we gotta kick it off with some random foolishness. There'll be more, of course. Welcome back, boys.
Welcome back.
We missed Ray Debate at the first event.
We did.
We fished Lake Conroe. It's a lot going on for us in 2025, and we just don't have the downtime like we used to with the off days.
No,
you know, to do this and do that. So, sorry, viewers, but we back. So now we coming in a little bit early.
Yep.
We knocking out some content for you all. We do all this for y'all.
Yep.
J-Dub got some stuff going,
100%.
cooking. DC cooking.
Ain't no doubt.
And we back on Rate Debate. So welcome back, 2025 edition. We're here at the Harris Chain.
Now, you don't even know how many people call me and be like, hey man, or people see me at the ramp and stuff, they'll be like, hey man, I tell you what, I love that Rate Debate.
Yeah, they think it's yours.
Yeah, I love watching you guys on Rate Debate. That's my favorite thing on YouTube.
That's what I get.
Legitimately.
Let me hear it, Sizzle. What they say?
You already know.
Stop eating so much stuff.
Creek series.
Hey, bruh, listen.
Creek series ranting and raving. When I tell y'all at Walmart screaming down the aisle, let me get a Creek series.
Hey, listen. I ain't gonna lie, they light me up on that one too. That's the one we gotta bring back, bro. We gotta get Jacob. We gotta get Jacob down here, and we gotta low key at least 1 to 2 episodes, bro. We gotta bring it back, DC. They've been on me about it hard, and you know what I tell them? Go talk to DC.
I can't do
Go
it.
talk. You know, you got the baby boy.
Busy. I've been wide
I know,
open.
bro. I ain't gonna. Hey, we ain't gonna.
I love them
light him
creeks
up too
though.
much. The creek is legit, bro. But so yeah, man. I thought because of coming off of Lake Conroe, right? We just wrapped it up. The 3 of us had decent events. J-Dub top 10. You had a really good event. I finished at 15th. DC
Absolutely.
13th. Hey, top 20s. Never gonna complain about that.
No.
Y'all also let us know what y'all think about the new format, man. Let me know. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. We got a lot of mixture going on there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if you don't like forward-facing sonar, we got 5 hours for you. If you love forward-facing sonar, we got 2.5.
But it don't matter. They still gonna complain about 2.5. They in the comments hard.
They
boy.
already on that.
It's horrible. They
I
wake
ain't
up.
mad at
They
them, bro.
clocking in every day.
Turn it off.
Cheating now. I'm like,
cheater box,
big dog.
boy.
We moved from 2.5, from 8 hours to 2.5, and y'all still in y'all's feelings.
But I ain't gonna lie. And y'all comment below, let me know this too. Out of all of the professional leagues, Bassmaster League Series, the NPFL, and then us here at Major League Fishing, BPT, got Collins over there dropping stuff. I think the combination, and the numbers will tell us at the end of the season, right? But I think the combination that we have and the format being very unique, I think we actually got something really good.
I personally, I think it's the best because you get the best of both worlds. You truly do get the best of both worlds. You get the opportunity to understand each pattern, each thing. You know, somebody might be catching them, you know, scoping out in the middle of the lake for a period on bait. Another guy might be catching, you know, fish on pole docks, fishing actually specific fish with forward. You understand a little bit more, and you get it as a viewer and as a fan of the sport. Like, you want to learn.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you're not, so if you don't even like forfeit, so that's fine, but you're going to show you the best patterns for that, but then also going to show you the best patterns for fishing shallow or fishing, you know, without it.
Yeah, it's going to show you a lot of casting.
A lot of
there's
casting.
going to be a lot of that.
It's going to be a lot of casting.
A lot of casting. Hey, like, I ain't gonna lie. So day 1, period 2, I obviously had to cut the box off, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to run up the pond. I had a couple jig bites, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I went up there and flipped for a whole period and got 0 bites. But that was because we did have a little bit of rain on off day and my water got a little dirty. So, but fishing was getting back to the old school grind was a little rough. But we I figured it out.
Can I comment on this?
You jump in it, Sizzle.
I'm gonna jump in it one quick.
Real quick, bro. We gotta get to these baits.
Oh, we're gonna get to the baits, but real quick. So like we talk about the old school grind.
Yeah.
The old school grind is harder now than it was 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Oh, big time.
Because we have fish that have gotten so much pressure year in, like every month out of the year. If they're out, if they're suspended, they're getting pressure. If they're on brush piles, they're getting pressure. And crappie fishermen, believe it or not, I love my crappie guys. I love my crappie guys. I love them because they're just sitting in the shadows over there, just whacking them, reeling them in. You don't see no forums talking about them over here whining about four facing. They ain't going back.
They ain't throwing them back.
They ain't throwing back.
No, sir.
So they don't get pressured. They get eight.
Yes. The education level for crappie is 0.
They either get caught and ate or they just don't bite, for that matter. But anyway, I'll say this. I think it has gotten tougher traditionally fishing, like pulling up on a brush pile and throwing on it without an exact cast.
Yeah.
Because used to, your range of them coming out and eating your stuff, it was fairly large. You could just throw in that one direction and maybe get a bite.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't hit it exactly perfect and then have your cadence exactly perfect, they've already seen that.
Facts. Yeah.
So it makes it harder on the offshore guys now without that.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It does. It does.
It's true.
Too bad I'm never fishing offshore again. I'm going to the bank.
For 5
They
hours.
live there 80-90% of the year. I'm going to do that. I love it.
Hey, you gotta love it, bro. All right, so look, rate the bait. We're gonna get to it, y'all. I know y'all was like wondering. So obviously I finished 15th at Conroe. Hopefully you guys followed that tournament. If not, watch my videos and my guys' videos surrounding that tournament. But I ended up catching my little fish, had a little flurry, last minute action. I slid into the cut, right?
That was
with
magical.
like 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty dope.
I gotta
ain't gonna
watch
lie.
that.
First time for me. I've always been on the other side of that, getting knocked out.
Yeah.
This time I was on the fortunate side. But that was all done with a small swim bait. More of a finessier, compact style of a swim bait. So I figured would be a better opportunity than to bring you guys small swim baits. Not to mention, that's a really good deal this time of year during the pre-spawn, popping off right now. So we gonna jump right into it. And I'm gonna start off with one that I feel like is kind of like the OG of it. And Jacob, being our historian on Rate the Bait, will definitely let us know if this is factual or not. I don't know.
Dude, he's a daggone
Hey,
fishing
my boy, the
guru.
encyclopedia.
He literally knows every color.
So look, this bad boy right here. Now, in my mind, this was one of the first ones that I got turned on to. Of course, being a West Coast guy and Reaction Innovation, which y'all might not know this, originally kind of being a West Coast brand because Andre Moore is from California. So, this bad boy right here, Reaction Innovations Skinny Dipper. I have caught so many bass on it, I feel like we all have.
Yeah.
This bad boy is still a player. He's in my boat right now. Matter of fact, this exact one is tied on right now.
Sun gill.
Sun gear. Hey man, let me give. Hey man.
Don't be talking about that color.
I say on them colors.
Hey, so the you want to hit him off first? Go ahead.
No, that's you. That's you.
So look, the Skinny Dipper, bro, and it's so fitting. We're here in Florida, right? You can wind this sucker around weightless. You could put him on the back of a swim jig. You could put a belly weight on him. You could Texas rig him low key. It is just a great, compact little swim bait. Obviously, bluegill, shad patterns, etc. They got this nice little slit in the center here for your like belly weight style. And he just has a nice rock to him. He's not a waggy tail. He's a rocky kind of a action on him. He just kind of swims and just kind of rocks. Very natural. What is it, 4.5 inch? I don't even know what the length on this bad boy is. He's about 4.5 inches, I'd say. Maybe a little more, maybe 5. But just an excellent bait, man. I ain't gonna rant and rave about it. I feel like this is one of the original small compact swim baits, at least that I got introduced to and fished in tournament settings and had success. And so this is my experience with him. But it's a bad boy, pretty bad boy. J-Dub, give us some history.
You gonna rate
man.
him?
You gonna rate him?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so obviously,
Hold on, I gotta rate him. 'Cause I forgot.
That was the funniest interaction
Hey,
I've ever seen on Rate the
Hey, he
Bait.
got mad at me. You gonna
He
rate
said,
him?
"Where you gonna rate him?"
It is rated.
Mark didn't
I
rate him.
forgot.
He's like, "Well, hold on a minute. I gotta rate him."
Facts.
Damn, rate him already.
I forgot, bro. I forgot.
You gotta knock the rust off.
Oh, hey, we so off the cuff, man. I done forgot to rate my bad boy. All right, so Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper, I'm gonna have to give this bad boy a 7.5. I'm gonna tell you why. The only knock I got on these, very similar to like your Yamamoto style plastics. These are like 1-2 bite baits at times, especially if you throw him on the back of a swim jig. You're gonna tear that head up, and he's just not gonna be a durable bait. But he is a fish catcher, so you will get a lot of bites on this bait, but you will run through these bad boys. 7.5.
7.5. So, you know, like sort of like the swim bait and the finesse swim bait category really kicked off around this time frame. I mean, obviously you go back to probably Sassy Shad being probably the OG.
Yeah, Sassy Shad.
I would say probably. And there was a lot of guys in the garages that made baits that were swim baits that were sort of their versions of Sassy Shads and different baits that I know of. Now, I'm not a huge swim bait guy. I don't know the backstory on finesse swim baiting as much as I do other baits, but Reaction Innovations made a Skinny Dipper, and it was a huge deal. I mean, it was a big deal from the standpoint if you were in Florida, whether you were throwing that on a belly weighted or you were throwing, you know, a swim bait. It was the mainstay when you were throwing when the Alabama rig came out.
Yeah.
It was one of the mainstay swim baits.
The Skinny Dipper.
The Skinny Dipper was.
The Skinny Dipper.
And the Little Dipper. The Little Dipper.
The Little Dipper.
The Little Dipper. So there was like, so it was always a huge player throughout, and it was a, I mean, you know, obviously when a new category comes on the scene in the sport, you start to see things start to trend off of that and do certain and break off and different actions and certain things. Sort of like Mark said, this bait, it has like this tail because it's like it's real thick and then it sort of stops right here. There's only so much room for that tail to even kick. He actually twists. He twists. The whole tail does.
Yeah.
He twists real hard. He doesn't have a lot of like sway in action, like kicking real hard, but he does. He has a lot of thump to him, which does make the body roll more. He's a great swim jig trailer, and he's a great bait. So I mean, for me, just for being the innovative, like I feel like I don't know if it started in Florida or if it really got. I mean, it started really like getting a lot of you know, notoriety probably around grass and sort of belly weighting it, because you would think, okay, you know, at this point in time you have a slit in the belly, you're probably going to be Texas rigging this bait, and so that was really where it started. But then it, you know, it grew into a whole new thing. Yeah. With throwing jig heads and swim baits and stuff like that, from smallmouth to spotted bass to highland reservoirs. So for me, I'm gonna rate him just for the, you know, I'm not gonna say right now I use him very often. So, but I'm gonna rate him a 9 just in the fact of it being innovative and jumping on the front end. You know, is it a bait that I'm gonna rate a 9 right now in this day and age? No. But the fact of Andre and that whole crew sort of doing their thing, I gotta tip my hat to them. And that was, I mean, it really stems so much new baits and new swim baits out there in the market that we could fish and bass fish with.
Yeah, no, facts.
9.
That's love.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
so a little quick history lesson.
Okay.
I threw the Alabama rig. The first time I threw the Alabama rig, I threw the Little Dipper on there. And I threw like an albino color on there, and I caught some big spots on it. And but another little history thing. I think, y'all correct me on this. I think every person that drove to Florida in about 2010,
Facts.
when I tell you every bass in Florida,
what was the number 1 color?
In what?
Florida. With that one, I'm trying to think the name.
Houdini.
Houdini was the color.
Yeah.
That was
Houdini
him. Boy,
was the
you
color.
knew I knew that.
Hey,
Boy.
you did.
Houdini. And that came quick because I knew, because I was on that. Because in about 2010 or 11, I first started college. I came down here with CD, not
not
PE.
PE. Y'all don't know. We gotta educate the folks.
Inside.
No, let them even know this. So
You wanna
look,
tell 'em?
we gotta tell them, bro. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go
Cause they're
ahead.
gonna be like CD, PE. They're not gonna know.
Yeah.
So look, PE, P is in Paul, E is in Ellis. That's Paul Elias.
Yeah.
But then the homie is CD,
CD.
and that's Clint
CD.
Davis.
Clint Davis.
And then one time J Dub made a mistake and thought we was talking about CD.
Yeah, I was
when we
talking
was really
about
talking
PE.
about PE.
Yeah, so I got messed up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's
And then you got
VD.
VD.
That's
Yeah, you
Van
got
Dam.
But man, like
So I went with CD, Clint.
Okay.
Shout out Clint.
Confuse
So I went
everybody.
with Clint. So Clint, I went to Harney Pond on Lake Okeechobee. And it was back in 2010 in the glory
Back when
days.
there was grass there. Gosh,
Dude,
it was
I
so
pulled in
beautiful.
Harney Pond and I was like, there was like this magical just rainbow over it. And I was just like, this looks amazing.
Very good.
And I'm going to tell you, about 4:30 in the afternoon, it was amazing one afternoon on that bait. You could
Weightless.
just wind that sucker weightless with just a EWG, and there was 4-pounders coming out and tanking, sharking it. And I think that was the last time I threw it.
That was it. You was done.
I think we had a genetic disturbance in bass, and I feel like in Florida they don't bite the damn thing no more.
You
I don't
crazy.
No, they definitely did.
They'll bite it, but I just don't throw it to catch 'em.
Okay.
They'll bite it for
I
sure.
got him on the deck right now.
But I feel like this was a damn staple. You know what I mean? And it still is. I think but the tournament might be won on it. You never know.
You never
this
know.
week or whenever. Anyway, long story short, I'm gonna rate this. I'm gonna go with Jacob, man. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give him a 9, man.
I'm not.
I'm gonna give him. Actually, I ain't gonna go behind you. I'm gonna give him an 8.8.
Okay.
8.8.
8.8.
You know, Sizzle got to do what he do.
8.8, just because I have caught a lot of bass on that, and I think he is a tried and true bait.
For sure is. He definitely is. All right, I'm gonna let one of y'all kick this one off. Jacob, DC,
Gambler.
who wanna grab him?
I'll get him real quick.
Okay, get him then, DC.
All right, I just got done. This right here is the Gambler Big Easy. They got the Little Easy too,
Yeah, they do.
and then they got the Easy Swimmer.
Nah, that's
Yes.
Kitech.
No, they got a Easy Swimmer and they got the Little Easy.
Wait. No, the easy swimmer is the small one. Ain't?
Yeah, the little easy.
I don't think he's a little easy. I think he's just an easy swimmer.
I do think they have the easy. No, there's like that's a large, medium,
It's
small.
They got a
I've never
small
seen
called
this.
I don't
the
know.
Easy Swimmer, and then you got the Little Easy.
So the little easy swimmer is bigger than the easy swimmer?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not sure because I don't know the product.
All right, this is the Big Easy. This is
That's
the
the
most
big
popular one.
Yeah.
And that sucker does sound really good coming through the water. And this is actually one of the best colors that they've ever made. This is Copperfield.
Which is also a version of
Houdini.
Houdini.
Exactly. All right. So this is one of them Okeechobee baits as well. And this was like
It
the
was.
2010 era. And I think it's still around, like the guys, I can promise you, them hammers, them guys in Okeechobee, they got that sucker tied on.
I feel like that was like a 13, 14 era.
Yeah, it was. I went with
I
CD
think
about
like
13, 14.
Reaction Innovations was like
My rookie
That
year,
was like
like
2010.
8,
They was
9, 10,
this was
11.
like 14.
14.
Yep.
14, they was
That-
smashing.
all of a sudden it
him.
went from there to that.
Yeah,
Yes,
because he hit
that.
harder.
Yep.
And you put, I put him on a 6.0 wide, no, a screw
Super
lock.
line.
Screw lock.
Screw lock
With it
a
in
6.0.
16.
I threw the rivet, you know, the big rivet.
Oh, yeah.
I threw it on the same hook, and I literally unrigged it, and I put that on there, and
Yeah.
you smash them on it, 6.0. But yeah, that bait right there is freaking awesome, man, and it's got a really unique sound whenever you're sitting there running. It's almost kind of like a subtle buzz bait when you're really getting it going.
Yeah. He makes some noise.
I think you could throw that on a swim jig as well. Reel it underneath the surface, and it's got a really good kick. Yeah, colors are freaking phenomenal too, man. I like this bait. The only problem with it is it's got a lot of girth to it.
Does.
See what I'm saying? It's got a lot.
He a thicker
He's thick.
Thick.
He's a thick.
boy. Facts.
All right, so I'm gonna rate this dude. I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna rate him a 7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
There you go.
Big Easy, Gambler, man. This is a dope bait, man. So I got a quick story I'm gonna tell you about this bait. So my rookie year, 2014, I qualified for the FLW tour. I know nothing about Lake Okeechobee. I done drove from California. I roll all the way across the country. This is the craze at the time, right? All the research you
Like
do.
14.
14.
Yeah.
It's 14.
Yeah.
You go in any tackle shop, once you break through the line, a Florida state line, they telling you gotta have him, and you gotta have him in Copperfield.
Yep. 100%.
It's mandatory, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, But look, I don't know nothing about these baits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm fresh from Cali. I'm fresh off Clear Lake, slow rolling a trash fish, smashing them, right? And that's my brain set on these style of swim baits.
Yeah.
So I come all the way down here to Okeechobee, and I rig him on a screw lock with a weighted belly weight.
How heavy?
Probably like a 3/16 or so.
Okay, so a little bit.
But I didn't know that guys were winding them high with the bloop, 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 bloop.
Buzzing him.
I
Okay.
didn't know that. So I'm at Okeechobee slow rolling this bad boy through Toolies. And he tink, tink, hitting the Toolie. Tink, tink, tink. Hey, but then, dude, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all gonna do that. Oh, okay. I could get with that. Didn't even know about reeling him on top, bro. It's crazy how, it's just you go always back to what you know, right? And that was my introduction to this bait, and I caught him on it, and I actually fished that tournament fishing it like that, and caught some fish on it too. And then later, of course, I learned to wind like most people, and started doing that. But caught a lot of fish on this bait. A lot of money's been made in Florida on this bad boy. Like Dustin said, they got the easy swimmer, the Lil Easy apparently. He's also a really good swim jig trailer. Now, I do like he's a little tougher of a bait too.
He
than
is.
like the reaction
You
innovation.
can get a few more bass out of
Get
him.
a few more bass out of him, and that is a big deal because we're always fishing these baits. Generally, you reel him through pads. He's coming through semi-grass, things like that. You beating him up quite a bit. So that little bit of durability is a big deal in my opinion. But this is just a bad dude, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and give him an 8 out of 10 instead of the 7.5, and that's due to the durability, but also due to the sound that sucker got. So, Big Easy, I'm giving you an 8, big dog.
It's the Big Easy. So Gambler obviously is well known as a Florida staple. So if you guys are in different parts of the country, it's more of a Florida staple. They always have that smelly. It's pretty.
I
smelly.
just smelled it.
Hey,
You
hold
smell.
on.
You can
I
smell it.
literally
right?
Don't, why you bring that up, Jake?
Did you hear me? I would do this one.
What it smell like, DC? What it smell like?
Anus oil. ANUS.
ANUS.
Anus oil.
Oh. That boy wild, son.
You crazy. So first thing I'm gonna say about this bait, I'm not this bait overall, like Gambler. Their colors are solid, but they do bleed a lot, so they're not very consistent. Like you could have 6 of them in a pack, and 3 of them are perfect, or 2 of them are perfect, and 4 of them are just contrasting. So it's just the way they call their stuff. They are good color. And the majority of their colors are driven by the Florida market. So, a swim bait, I'm talking about this bait more so on the swim bait aspect of it, not really reeling on top. It is a good bait overall, and it's actually a bait that I feel like had a lot of inspiration by a JDM company. I'm not exactly sure. You guys might know more than me in this watching this video, that the Big Easy, I've been told several different times that this bait was inspired by a Japanese swim bait. And I do believe I've seen a couple of those over the years. So anyway, that being said, it has a really good wobble. It has a really good rock.
This dude, man.
And it is a good bait. Like it's an overall. I've never thrown it for like offshore or like slow rolling it, just because overall, like again, the Florida market is dominated by Florida colors. So your Copperfields and your black, your Houdinis and your black neons with watermelon reds, and so their shad patterns need a little work on that aspect of it. But for fishing down south around grass lakes and places like that where you're imitating bluegill or imitating something like that, it's a great option for that. And that's really, I feel like, where the Big Easy lives. It lives in that grass kind of fisheries. Whether you're belly weighting this, it's a good bait. That being said, has a lot of thump as a traditional swim bait. Typically, I have not thrown this bait ever on a jig head, so I've never thrown on a jig head. But belly weighted has always been a good bait. Reeling it slow, and it has a lot of thump. So if you're looking for a bait that has a ton of thump, something a little bit different, it could be a good bait. Overall, for me, day in and day out, I'm going to give him a 6.5. He had his time in the sun for about a couple years there, but he's not one that consistently that I'm always having in my boat. Even when I come to Florida, I don't have him in my boat right now. So that gives you an understanding. Like that's why I'm rating him 6.5. Just solid bait, good bait, does a great job for several other things, but for the swim bait aspect of it, 6.5.
Hey, one quick comment. I agree with the 6.5. I think I went with a 7.5, but if you look at that bait, you notice one thing.
That curl, that tail, a little
The
kink.
tail's all kinked
Oh,
up.
it's
So
definitely
we're
kink.
gonna get into two. We're gonna get into two different swim
definitely
baits.
Yep.
We're gonna get into two different swim baits. See, that one's a little
You
bit
can for sure see it.
janked up right
Yeah.
there. We're gonna get into two different swim baits here in a minute, and they are in clamshells, and
Big difference.
that is a big difference in your swimming action. And one of my biggest pet peeves ever, as Jacob is getting apple juice.
In fact, for himself.
Hey, bring me apple juice. One of the biggest things is like you versus a clamshell and not. When you're swimming a jig, so I used to throw a swim jig with a super speed crawl
Yeah.
from Zoom.
Yeah, I remember that.
Big dog.
Big dog.
They would put them in those packages. They still got them in them today. And I would literally, out of 10 baits or 8, whatever comes in it, 3 of them would be fine. The rest of them would have a tail that was already molded like to the side, and it literally would mess up the swimming action so bad.
Yep.
I'd have to throw them away.
Yeah. 100%.
The same way with the Zoom Superfluke.
Yeah.
No, not hating on Zoom, but like they were in the package, and if you got a pack that had done got smushed in and all the tails were up in one side, you pulled out every fluke and all of them were crooked.
All bad.
That sucker ain't running right.
All bad. Yeah.
That's
Nah.
it. So that will contribute to the 7.5, 6.5.
Yeah, that's a mega
Thank you,
point. I mean, that's come up several times on Rake Debate over the years.
Swim bait's the most important.
Swim bait's the
It
but
really
really,
is.
It's the
For
most
consistent
important
kicking
for
action, it really
consistent.
is.
but
yes.
any of them things, even like a minnow, right? Even like a minnow, if that sucker ain't straight, you can't shake him around. That sucker gotta be straight.
Who's next?
All right, we're gonna. How about who ain't kicked one off? Jacob, you ain't kicked one off. Me do him? Okay, I do him.
You do him.
You do him. All right, I'm doing him. Hey, y'all recognize that? DC just got off the rant. I got the whole pack in front of me. This is a Kitech Fat Impact. This sucker right here, so much money. Been one on it. So. I wouldn't even be sitting here next to you boys
Without that fat boy.
if this didn't happen
The
right
Fat
here.
Impact.
Fat Impact, bro. I won the TBF National Championship on this bad boy. And
Did
you? on an Alabama rig.
Alabama 3 wires.
But I had 8 wires on mine. I
Did you really?
did. Yeah, I was throwing like this custom one. Shout out High's Tackle Box back in the day. They made called a Crazy 8.
Okay.
It had 5. It had 5
Big.
dummies.
You
It had
dropped
5
bags.
dummies that were up close like this, and then it had 3 lives that were.
And
back.
they always ate that one. They
That's
didn't
why.
eat
They
these?
set
Chuck,
back
hold up.
like they were stragglers.
So
and
that
they-
was the ones they would eat.
Yes, every
Hold
time.
on. So that's why they made the rule 5 wires.
Yeah.
5 wires. So
Because
Martin
Cash was
Daniels-
getting I ain't started.
SBJ got it.
Listen,
rule.
Cash was getting carried
Well,
away.
Casey Martin.
Yeah, he put 2 of them together, didn't he?
Remember he had that like giant Picasso rig
Oh yeah,
with like
yeah.
all the baits.
The
He
one he
smashed
chicken
it one,
wing
he
at. I
dropped
remember that.
bags.
Yes, he was smashing. He had 30 something.
Yeah, he dropped
twice.
bags. Yeah, I did.
But he probably had these on there, low key.
Oh, I mean, I remember.
They were crying about Alabama rigs too.
Oh, hard.
It seems like if anything is really effective, they cry about it.
You
I'm
gonna
gonna be
hear
honest. I'm gonna call y'all out. I mean,
You
it's
gonna hear
good.
about
They
it.
crying about it.
All right. Yeah.
100%.
I'm gonna just talk briefly about this.
Don't
I
worry.
think everybody watching this probably knows. If not, you guys probably should grab some of these, check the action out, and just see what it is. This is a bad bait, bro. But this is a different action. And then I'll let these guys also dwell on it. I'm not gonna go too much. But as we talked about the other swim baits, some tighter, some rocky style of baits, this one right here is a tail wagger. He's a tail wagger. The tail goes like this side to side. But that can be, sometimes they really, really like that. This is the bait I was throwing at Conroe last couple of casts that I got in. I was using a Kitech. Now, quickly, I'm going to say this about a Kitech. I love Kitech baits. I love them, okay? this is a one bite bait. Literally. You get a bite on the Kitech, you need another one. So if he non-scorable,
If he
pissed
sniffs
off.
it.
If he look at him too long,
If he looks at it too long, he's done.
over with. Oh yeah, you can see him on in my YouTube video. Like I'm catching him every time I get a bite, I put another one on. Which at times it doesn't matter because that bite is that important. But at other times, durability is just tremendously important. So here it is, Kitech Fat Impact. I'm gonna give this bad boy. I'm gonna give him a 8.5. I'm gonna tell you why. He gets bit all the time almost. His durability sucks. That's why I'm not gonna give him any higher.
Yep.
But he got a really good scent on him. He got some good, and y'all know how I feel about scent.
You like the scent.
I love some scent. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give him 8.5.
All right, I'm gonna keep it short, sweet. I like this bait. I've caught a ton of them on this bait.
Oh yeah.
I don't like how he's not very durable at all. And I'll be honest with y'all. Every one of these baits is $1 a piece.
Yeah, they high. They high.
I mean, you go into the tackle shop. Sometimes
$1.50.
Yeah, they more than that.
$1.50 a piece.
A lot of them $1.50 piece.
They're damn near $8 per pack.
Might be more than that.
It might be more than that, bro.
And I'm sitting there looking at him. I'm like, big dog. If one sniffs my bait, he's done. And I don't even want to crack him up.
Go ahead, crack him up.
I'm scared one of them gonna break him.
He might break in the clamshell.
But the consistency is all to do with the clamshell and just the action of that bait. He don't have he's a very subtle swim bait. He's very subtle.
Yeah.
I feel like this bait right here is a very visual swim bait. It ain't got a lot of thump at all. It's very just, and he's got that wide kicking action. He don't have much rolling action. No, he doesn't roll. He
No,
just,
he doesn't roll.
the tail is just right there and it's very subtle.
Yep.
So like, it's a super, really, really good swim bait in clear water.
Yeah.
You know, and they got a ton of good colors, like literally like 50 colors of this bait.
Yep. A lot of good colors.
And but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give him do 8.6.
8.6.
8.6.
You got to give Kitech demands some love just because of
It does.
he's
Yeah,
done
I think
a
it's
lot.
a staple of
Yeah.
a swim bait brand. You know, I mean,
Facts.
it's swim baits.
Facts.
So, like, I'm not going to go super far in on this one, but I'm definitely going to give a lot of love for the clamshell packaging, sort of like you guys talked about. So, point right there. Great colors. Point right there. Absolutely awesome. This bait has a really, sort of like DC talked about, it's subtle, but it's not. It has a really big kick. So, it has this big, wide, swaying action. So, it really has from like a 3, basically, if you're on a clock, it kick like the furthest point 3 to 10 o'clock, 3 to 9.
3 to 9.
3 to 9.
Yeah.
Right? So it really has this big, wide, and he doesn't rock, he just rolls. Like that bait, because of that, he really rolls because it's streamlined. Unlike a skinny dipper, he really rolls, like not like not a quick turn. So unique, different, and has caught a ton of bass for me over the years. I mean, it's good bait, absolutely is. I'm gonna give him an 8 just because I think they were innovative in several different points of this, and I think it's a really good bait.
Yep.
It is mainstay.
Absolutely. All right, last but not least, man, drum roll. Y'all know we had to come on with it. Come on with it. J-Dub, you gotta talk to us about that, man. What is that?
So here is the Crush City Mare. So obviously, whenever you're creating baits, like for me, it's a big thing of trying to be something different, trying to do something a little bit unique. All right, so for me, taking a swim bait, like all these swim baits I just showed you right there, none of them look like a shad, right? None of them look like a shad. Well, a mare looks exactly like a shad or a lot of bait fish around the country. So instantly, profile aspect, I wanted to be as close to that as well. In addition to that, where Kitech, they have that kick from 9 to 3, I wanted to have enough body roll, but I wanted to be subtle enough where he was between like 10 and 2. I wanted him to be a little bit more subtle, a little bit different, and that was really the goal. I said, look, we went through a lot of different baits, and I said, look, keep making it a little more subtle. So as far as like when you think of of where the sport is going and where the fish are getting more pressured, more hard-hitting baits consistently are getting less bites, more subtle baits or minnows and freeloaders and mooch minnows and stuff like that, getting more bites. So how can I make something that's different where a guy can put it on a jig head or put it on a belly weight and reel it and have it subtle and generate more bites? It's not going to have as much thump, 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 but think about it. A wiggle wart is a great crankbait, but it does not get bit all the time. If I'm going to take a shad wrap or a wiggle wart, I'm going to take a shad wrap day in and day out because it's the more subtle of the two and it generates more bites typically all over the country for me in most scenarios. So that was really my mindset with this. I'm not going to go like crazy. Obviously, there's a lot of great colors. They did a great job with the plastic. Has a really good scent to them as well. You got to have that, and in a clamshell. And that was, sort of coming off of the Kitech aspect. That was something that we all understood how important the clamshell packaging was for the consumer. If you're going to spend that kind of money, and you're going to spend, $1 a bait or $1.50 a bait, dang straight, you better have them all ready to roll. You might be able to spend $3.99 on a pack of Big Easies or $5.99 for a pack of Big Easies, but guess what? You only have 2 good ones out of 6. So if you're going to spend the money, having one that has a clamshell package was really important.
And durability.
And durability. This bait on a screw lock on it. I mean, I catch a lot of fish on it. I can catch multiple fish on this bait. But it's a very fine line. So like the big thing for me, and sort of we didn't hit that on the Kitech, the big thing for me with this bait as well, on the finesse swim baiting aspect, was making sure this bait swam at slow speeds. So there's a lot of baits out there. That's the one thing we really didn't talk about, like those front end Big Easy and the Skinny Dipper do not really swim at slow speeds. You can't crawl those baits. Where the Kitech you can't, and the Mary you can. So like when you throw that bait out there and it hits the bottom, you're just like watering it, and he's just kicking. Like for me, like in the pool, like how I made sure it was good and I actually approved it was when I put it in the pool and I could just barely drag that bait, like just literally pull it with my, not reeling it, just pull it at the slowest speed that I can keep it going momentum, and it was still kicking. That was when I knew I had the right bait. Because it's like you had, now it's like, it's hardness, there's a lot to it, but overall, I'm not going to go into all of it, but there was a lot to it. I love this bait. It's a great lure on a jig head. It's a great lure on a lot of different things, the back of a swim jig. But I'm going to give him an 8 because I just feel like it's different. It's unique from a lot of other baits out there on the swim bait market.
All right, Crush City Mirror. J-Dub hit a lot of the good qualities of this bad boy, but I want to pull one out. I like pulling these bad boys out. You got it. When you talk about them, you got to hold one. I gotta have one for reference. Dope little bait. You didn't talk about the slit that you guys have in the belly. It does come slotted, so it's perfect for EWG style setup, like kind of like what I was using with the flashy swimmer. And like Jacob said, man, I do really like the minute details in this bait. Like it already comes in a shad shape. Like what you said, profile is already there. Then you guys even got the dorsal fin and even got the little tag, I don't even know what you call this on the boot tail right there. So very realistic. Action on this bad boy is different from a Kitech. He's a lot tighter, for lack of better words, but the action is there. Very good action on this bad boy. Hey, he got that juice on him, so you know I like that. He got that juice on him, and then these boys designing all the colors. I mean, they got some really good colors, shad, bluegills, etc. And he's versatile. Swim jig. You can put these bad boys on the back of a spinnerbait. I put them on the back of a spinnerbait.
100%. I caught him a Conner on a 3-inch on a mare on the back of it. Yeah,
on a spinnerbait. Okay. Have you thrown him on a chatterbait?
Yeah. So that's the other big thing. He doesn't rise as much because he's tighter. So he actually does. But I'm not a huge fan of a boot tail on a chatterbait.
Me either.
Unless only time I am when I'm wanting and I'm killing him. Like deeper grass.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude. Like that's when I throw him on the back of the chatterbait when I'm sort of fishing deeper.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, for sure, Dave. Pro Blue Red Pearl is the color on this one. This is a really good color too. This is a dope bait, man. These boys, Rapala, you guys have done a really good job, Crush City, man, designing these baits, bro. I'm not gonna talk your ear off about it. Y'all know that if y'all picked up these bad boys, y'all know these are good baits. I'm gonna give him an 8.5. I have a lot of these. I fish these a lot, and it's just a good bait, man. So shout out to Rapper, y'all killing it over there, man. Keep up the good work, boys.
All right, here we go. The Mayor 4-inch comes in a 2.8.
Comes in a 2.5, a 3.
A 2.5, yeah.
2.5, 3.
3, 4-inch.
Maybe one coming.
Maybe a bigger one's coming soon.
I don't know.
Maybe not. So if you go back, this bait, I didn't throw it a ton, because around my house, I normally throw smaller ones. I throw a 3-inch a lot for spotted bass. Okay.
Yeah.
And I would put him on a 3/8 ounce head, and I'd catch spotted bass on it. And I mean, dude, it was phenomenal. And but I tied on the 4-inch at Conroe, and I've talked about this a lot, but I feel like this is a good mixture. So you see the Kitech there, and these fish are getting pressured, right?
Bad.
But you see the Kitech, it's a good mixture between subtle and aggressiveness, because the Kitech is it's very aggressive, but it don't have a thump.
Right.
That's what I don't like about it. When I'm throwing a Swimbait out there, I'm used to feeling that just a little, I can feel that little subtle thump. Kind of like back, now this is a totally different subject, but like back in the Bastrix days.
Yes.
You would throw that sucker
that's
out
like
there,
thumping.
and you would throw it on 15-pound line, and you would literally feel the tip of your rod kicking like barely, and you knew that sucker was kicking. I don't mind throwing that Kitech, but it's just like dead weight.
Yeah, you don't know he's back
It's
there.
dead weight, and it's like I'm reeling dead weight. I'm like, dude. But I tied this 4-inch on, and I put him on a swim jig. And even with a swim jig, I would feel him. He was, and you could feel him like a very, very subtle chatterbait, just a kick. He was barely, I knew he was kicking.
You knew he was working.
I knew he's working for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he clocked in.
He
you know
clocked
what I mean?
in for you,
Like
yeah.
every cast, he's clocking in. He was on time. So then I decided to put him on a belly weight, and I got even more kick out of him. And when you throw that sucker on a belly weight, and you will see him, he's got that roll, but he's subtle.
So yeah.
And
Was that the 4-inch you were
That
throwing?
was the 4-inch that I was throwing, and I was throwing him in green shad.
Green shad.
I caught a 6, a 5/8, another 5/8 on him,
God.
and
Big.
I lost another big one. But it was all bigs.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it.
At all.
I did not.
Did not. Will not.
So, but no, I'm gonna rate this bait. I'm gonna rate him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
8.2, 8 out of 10. Just because he's just subtle enough and just aggressive enough that you could feel him and still get bites in clear water or dirty water.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
like that because I don't know where I'm going, but he's an all-around bait, dirty or clean.
All purpose.
Yep. So,
I think that's a big deal. Like, I think you just want
That
to,
is.
like every bait that we talked about has a unique action, and we all, we want to give you guys a little bit more in-depth look at like actions. 'Cause that's the difference. Like, there's a lot of different baits that are Kitech knockoffs. There's a lot of different baits that are skinny dipper knockoffs. There's a lot, so it's like being able to have different actions and different thumps and different whack, and that's a huge deal when selecting the right swim bait for the application that you're fishing.
100%. So guys, y'all already know, as always with Break the Bait, there's 1,000 other swim baits out there. So
we just picked a few.
we just pick a handful. I tend to grab one. I mean, I grab these right out of my boat, and sounds like they did too, except for the.
I had the Big Easy. But I had a whole bunch of them. I brought it in.
Because you in
Tupperware tote.
Florida, you got to.
I had a Tupperware tote out there. He's in the garage.
Hey, you're not in the boat, but I grab mine out the boat. I mean, these are game time baits. I understand there's 1,000 other ones out there, but we can't cover them all. These are ones that we decided to talk about. So maybe y'all learned something today. Maybe you did, and you just want to come listen to us talk. We love you for that too. But man, y'all make sure y'all follow my boys. Wheeler Fishing, DC Fishing. Y'all already here on my channel, so I appreciate that. Oh, my boy Adrian's not here. I don't know. Oh, did Evina go? What?
Oh, he got us some.
You ain't got food or something?
Yeah, he got us some making wings.
All right,
That's a
Jersey boy ain't
I'm
making.
excited about that.
But y'all make sure y'all follow my boy Adrian Evina too on YouTube, man. We appreciate y'all. This Rate Debate. We catch y'all on the next one. Peace.